on the Beef, where we not only talk about business problems, we talk about business solutions. So, Bob.
Yes.
What would you like to beef about today, my friend?
Well, this is kind of an indirect beef,
Okay.
and I don't even know if we're going to call it a beef, but I think it's something that's on a lot of people's minds. We'll see what we can turn it into. But so, as most people that watch the show, you've heard enough references and so forth that, you know, both of us were in the corporate world for many years, and then we moved into small business now, and we're kind of running this small business learning company and so forth, Secret Learning Networks. And a lot of times we do training workshops, so forth. That's the business that we're in. A lot of people will come and ask, at least me, I know they ask you the same thing, like, how was it making the leap, right?
Yeah.
And I think the indirect beef in there is that, you know, they seem unhappy, like, boy, I'm here grinding through this corporate thing, and I want to, you know, have my own small business. I want to be my own boss.
Right.
That's a common one that we hear. And so they want to know, like, how is it, you know? How was it hard to make that leap, and how is it? Which is a good question to ask before you start just leaping in.
Of course.
So, of course, I have my definite opinions on this, but, you know, what have you heard on this, and how do you feel about this before we kind of get into it?
Well, you know, I talk to a lot of people that will approach us because we're small business, and the grass is always greener, right? They see it, they say, you know, I want to try X, Y, and Z. They could be pipe dreams, or they could be this or that, but they like to dream about having their own business. And they think the feeling out there going is that, you know what? It would be great to be my own boss, to just be able to make decisions and build things as I'd like to build things and do things as I'd like to do things. Because if I just did it my way, I'd be a millionaire in a heartbeat like this, right? So how do I, you know, how do you like it? And how does it work? And they start asking and prying into it a little bit. So, you know, my feedback isn't necessarily to squash their dreams per se, but
Dream squasher.
yeah, but it's quite candid. It ain't easy.
It ain't easy,
Right?
and that's exactly the point. I mean, my answer is always, I love what I do, and I really and truly do. I mean, I think you can see that coming through with both of us. We really love what we do, and you get to do silly things like this, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun. You just get to do some really great things. But on the flip side of things, as you're saying, I have never worked harder in my life.
doubt.
You know, last week we talked about, you know, work hours
Yeah.
and, you know, the 9 to
That's
6 and all that stuff. That's not even a discussion here.
No.
Work hours.
Yeah.
It's like, it's 24/7. And I've heard that from a lot of small business owners, successful small business owners. But it's really true. I mean, you just never get it off your mind.
Right.
And why? Because you're responsible for payroll. You're responsible for other people's careers. You're responsible for bringing in business. And business doesn't always come in consistently. And so
Right.
even though you love what you do, there's a lot of things you have to do that you don't love, right?
right.
The administrative stuff, the legal stuff, the financial stuff, everything. And so if you're going into a business and you think you're only going to do the things you like and not have to work for somebody, wrong, and completely wrong. Because first of all, you are always working for someone, right? I work for our customers.
Sure.
I mean, that's my
Absolutely.
boss. That's your boss. So that's 100% there. But then, you know, it's not only the things I love to do. Yeah, I love to teach. I love to do stuff like this. But this is like, you know, maybe half of the job, you know?
Yeah.
The other half is dealing with stuff that I probably wouldn't choose to wake up in the morning and do.
Right on.
And you've got to be ready for that. I think that's the key.
Yeah,
you know?
no.
You've got to be ready for it.
No doubt about it, right? And there's a lot more on you, right? There's a lot more
yeah.
on you from a small business perspective. Now, to look on the flip side of that, what we do have within a small business is you do have a little bit more of that flexibility to really put your mark on things, right?
Yes,
You
yes,
want to
yes,
make a change. You want to do something, whether you want to market a certain way or whether you want to start a promotion or go out and change how we're training or what our training might look like or feel like. We can go ahead and do that without going through the bureaucracy of going through 8, 9, 10 months of approvals from different levels of the organization,
Exactly
only to find
right.
out that it's nothing like it originally started, right? Nothing what I originally proposed,
Yeah.
right? But, you know, so that's the great part of it.
Still make something
Oh,
happen.
you could still do stuff and make change and try to make yourself better. But, you know, the key thing to it, which is the part that I love so much about it, is you got to have that passion. You got to have that sort of drive to, it's got to be in you and it's got to be on your mind. And sometimes it really feels like work, but sometimes it's like, oh, I want to do it.
Yep.
You know,
That's right.
And if you're going to go into, I guess one of my recommendations or one of the things I would say is you're going to go into a small business. You're going to either start your small business or even be part of a small business, be an employee of a small
both are the
business.
same,
right?
by the way.
Very much the same. You got to have that passion for it because you can't hide like you can in corporate
can't
world.
hide.
You're transparently, you're out there, the work you do, the things you do, make an impact. So if you don't do them, you are not making an impact. You're holding back the business.
That's exactly
right. So it's even more so important to have that passion, to have that drive, to have that, as you talked about in the past, that commitment, right, to that business to do that work.
And small businesses expect that from their employees because
doubt.
they need
You
it.
have to.
There's no choices there. But I think that's exactly right. And it really is all about making sure that you have that passion, you're willing to share that passion. All really key things. So I think the tie into this thing is, it's great. It's great fun. It's amazing. If you love what you do, you can go do it, but you got to really be prepared to work hard.
Yeah, no doubt.
And get that thing out of your head that, I'm not going to be working for them. I'm working for myself. You do not work for yourself.
Forget about
it. Work for your customers.
Absolutely.
Every single day. If you don't have that in your head, you're not going to succeed.
Absolutely right.
And I think, there's another thing I wanted to mention on this. It's probably going to sound like, this whole thing was a setup for this show that we're doing, but it's not actually. We have another podcast that we're doing and doing it with one of our marketing managers, Tate Tegmeyer, and we're just starting this new podcast called Making It Real. And essentially what we're doing is we're trying to get entrepreneurs, people who have started product companies, brought new product ideas to market from beginning to end, and really talking to them about what was that process? How did you, so to speak, make it real? And what did it take? And that should be some really interesting insights coming from that. So if you are interested in starting your own business or doing something like that, let's learn from the people who have done it, right? Of course, we did, but we also want to talk to others as well. So it might be something really cool to check out. It'll be on iTunes and on our website and so forth. So we'll leave a link in the comments as well. Yeah. But I think it's a good way to end. Yeah, any other closing comments?
No, I think that wraps it up. I think we hit all the points.
Good. So if you're going to follow your dream, good luck. Be willing to work hard. And always come to Beyond the Beef for advice, because I think that's the key to real success in a small business.
They should probably get back to work too.
Yeah, maybe so. Okay, thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much. Thank you for joining us on
Beyond the Beef.
Thank you.
People, I think, in companies, corporations, and kind of the regular jobs. Listen to me.
Regular jobs.
Those regular
Our jobs are not regular.
As opposed to the jobs that all of our audience is in.